Hi, I'm Kevin, and this is Randy,
That I am.
and we're here today to talk about Windows 8. You've probably heard or seen Windows 8 and found out that it looks a lot different than previous versions of Windows. So we thought we'd create a video to kind of demystify the new Windows 8 experience to help you get up and running on it quicker and so that you can enjoy working with your computer instead of trying to figure out how it works.
Yeah, well, it is different. It looks different. There's a lot of differences in how you open up your software and get to things, but it's still based on Windows 7. So it was created from Windows 7. And so all that stuff, for the most part, most of that stuff is kind of sitting in the background. But we have an HP TouchSmart that comes with Windows 8 right here, pretty much brand new. Let's use it.
Just get started with it? Okay, so right here I see a picture. What am I doing?
Well, this is actually the sign-in screen. This is where you start. When you first fire up your PC, after you've initially set it up, you go in there and you create your account. You have to create an account. You use that account to sign in.
Okay.
Similarly as what you would have done in Windows 7.
All right, so how do I sign in here?
Well, Windows 8 has been designed with touch in mind, right? So
touch
the screen. What happens when you touch it?
Oh, hey, it's moving. So I just lift it up. Hey!
You roll the curtain up. Now here's the sign-in screen. It's very
Hey, look,
simple.
you're smiling at us.
So if you were to have created a Microsoft Live account, a Live ID, you can use that Live ID to log into your computer and to kind of tie in all your social media stuff right in there with the operating system. Okay. That's a new feature that's actually really
cool. So
really
you can use your Hotmail or your Live account, and it pulls in, and you just sign in using like what you would for your email or something else.
Yep.
Cool.
And Windows 8 will use that, and it'll, like you'll see here, it'll use it to display information from your friends and things like that.
Kind of personalizes it for you.
It does. It's pretty neat.
Like that right there. Look, there you are. You're smiling at us on the desktop.
My lovely mug available at all times.
So, where do we start from here? I see a start screen.
So in Windows XP, what would you have done?
You'd go to the start button, you click it, and then you select an application from there.
Right. So, but when you click the start button in Windows XP, a start menu opens up.
Right. Yep.
Well,
it pops up and
this is it. This is the start menu.
This is
called
menu.
A start screen. All of your software applications are readily available right from here.
Okay, so you don't have to click the start anymore. They took away that click.
Yeah.
And now you're right there.
At first, you're going to be like, "Oh man, this is weird. I have to have that start button." But you got to get off of that dependence and start using this, because this actually is one of the neatest features of Windows 8. And once you start using it and getting familiar with it, it works really well.
Well, it seems quicker anyway. I mean, you don't have to click the start button.
Yes. So if you were, I don't know, let's say you want to do something, because a computer is all about doing something, right?
Right.
Well, let's do some simple little task like, I don't know, check the weather.
Okay, so what are these things on here? Are these all like applications? This is my menu?
They are applications, right?
Okay.
And there's two different things, right? You're probably familiar with Windows, like XP use software programs, right? Those are called desktop apps now for Windows 8. You can still have them. You can install software like you would, from a disk, pop a disk in and go through the installation screens, etc. And you can still access them from here. But there's this new thing called an app.
Okay.
Right? Like a cell phone.
Like on your phones, right.
Like on a phone, it's designed to open full screen. They're designed not to take up a lot of memory. They're designed to stay open so that you can just really quickly flip through different functions like checking the weather.
So it's more like the phone and you just open the apps? Okay. Okay, so
this is all about using your computer, right? So why don't you go ahead and check the weather?
All right. So
that's a good starting point.
I see a blue tile down here. Looks like weather. Let's go with that.
The icon with the little sun shining. There you go.
All right, so here's the weather.
Now you are in an app.
Okay, so we're in the weather app.
See how it's in full screen? Lots of nice big things you can touch.
Looks really cool.
So it's the weather for Boise. Okay.
Looks like it's cloudy today.
It is mostly cloudy. So yeah, well, touch it. Do some.
So you can slide side.
You can
there's
scroll
maps.
side to side. Most of the apps you can scroll side to side to learn more. And
can move back.
If you're curious about something, touch it. And then so within an app, right, you can change your settings, you can manipulate things more by using some of the tools that are available, right? And one of those tools is the Charms bar. It's always available for everything, apps, classic apps, your Windows desktop, and you get there on a touchscreen by just sliding your finger in from the right.
Okay.
Pretty neat, huh? And
So what
then
if I didn't have a touch?
you can just slide your mouse pointer up in the upper right,
So up in the right corner.
and then drag
Okay.
it down, or you can press the Win key plus C. If you just want to use the keyboard, that's a shortcut. But anyway, you have search, share, start, devices, and settings. Those are things that are always available for any application or from within the start screen, etc. And so, you can go into the settings and you can see what settings are available for, in this case, the weather app, and they're right there.
So it's got options.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then other things that you can do is like you can click from the top down. You see how now you have more options. Some apps have that. And there's just go ahead and start moving around so that you can use.
So what if I'm not? What if I didn't want to look at Boise's weather? Like, how would I change? Can you like change things? Oh, hey.
There's one called Places.
So you could come in and probably just start adding something in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let's go to Paris.
All right, let's try that. So
Here.
I'll just type in here. Oh, and it starts to load. Let's go to France, Paris, France.
And there it is. So depending on what app you're in, there's going to be different settings available. And but the thing that I found most useful is that charms.
From this thing over here?
Yeah, so if you slide that in, hit search, and you can probably do the Paris thing right from there.
Let's try that.
Search for a city.
Let's try Paris.
Yeah.
Right there at the top again. I like that it autofills.
See, and then there's more options available down below.
Oh, and you can pin this in and change it.
So let's say you're done. You're done checking the weather from here.
How do I close this app?
Exactly. How in the world do you close things? Well, click the close button.
There's not. They used to have X's up in the corner. They don't have one now.
That's exactly right. I was kind of tricking you there. Well, first off, you don't need to close these things.
Okay.
Right? They're designed to be readily available at all times. Windows 8 sort of manages that in the background, so that if you haven't been using something for a long time and you need more resources, it'll go ahead and close it for you. And to switch back to the start menu or the start screen, just press the Win key. The Windows key becomes, it becomes much more important in Windows 8.
Okay, so like in the past, though, your start menu would pop if you push the Windows key, so we're just going back.
Look at there.
All right.
Let's press it again.
Takes you back to the previous app you were in?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
But what if I really want to close it? I need closure. How can I get that?
Okay. Well, one way you can do is drag from the top. Remember, just like how you opened up that settings, the additional settings.
Okay.
Keep going until you're down below half of the screen. And it should change.
Oh.
Now throw it away at the bottom. Ta-da.
Yeah, that's fun, actually. Let's open some more and just keep throwing them away.
And you can also use Alt F4 if you're used to using Alt F4. Yeah.
So, the same keyboard functions that all the other operating systems.
So if you're used to something like that, closing out, use Alt F4 to close them.
F4.
Yeah, that works too.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. So what if I wanted more than one app, though? I mean, that's real easy for one.
This is where Windows 8 actually shines. This is where, when you're working with your computer, you typically don't do one thing at a time, right? If you're browsing the internet, you're like usually got music going in the background, or you've got stocks or something that you're checking. So let's go ahead and do that. What do you want to do? Browse the internet and do stocks?
Well, let's definitely open the internet.
Okay. So there's the internet.
Okay. Oh yeah, and then Windows key takes me back.
If you press the Windows key, right, it flips back and forth.
Oh, so yeah, it'll just keep going to the app that you were in.
Yep.
Okay.
Like a toggle.
So you want me to open some more here?
Okay. So let's open up your stocks.
All right. So I'll open the stocks.
So now you have Internet Explorer open.
Uh-huh.
And you also have the stock application open app. So
see
how they're full screen? Yeah. So Windows 8 lets you work with both of them at the same time.
Okay. Yeah, because the old ones you could minimize. They had the little minus button and stuff, or you could shrink the screens. Like, what do I do here to move between the apps?
Well, if you're used to Alt Tab, you can do that. You can just use Alt Tab to flip between multiple apps.
Oh yeah.
See how
they're switch between like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's one way, but what else?
Correct, that's one way. So let's go back to your browser. Let's say you want to put the stock price up there on the side. There's this new feature called Snap. What you can do is you can move your mouse pointer into the upper left-hand corner of the screen and then drag down. And you see all these? This is all the apps that you have open. So it's kind of nice because you can also flip between your apps this way. You just click on them and then it cycles through, just like your Alt Tab. But you can also do what's called Snap. So here's Internet Explorer, so we're Let's switch to Internet Explorer, and if you move it back there and drag down, let's go ahead and snap your finance by right-clicking, and it gives you a menu. You can close this, you can close apps from here, or you can say snap left or snap right. And what that's going to do is, let's select snap left. That's going to place your app to the left. But look, it's in a different view.
So as my stock goes up, I can see it here, and over here I can go buy something with that money. Let's look at
If you want. That's perfect.
Okay.
And then to get rid of it, why don't you just touch that little bar there and drag it off to the side, and that unsnaps it.
So what if I want to go the other direction?
You go ahead and see what happens. Ta-da!
Whoa.
Now your
So it
stock
just
is in the
shifts
main
sides,
view.
and now I've got the stock to move over here.
Yeah.
So it's kind of moving them. And then
There
do
you
I
go.
just keep moving to get rid of it, like
all the way to
closing
the
it?
edge? No, yeah, you have
Gotta
to
get
hit the bar.
and out. So how do I get that bar back?
Oh, look
wait.
at there.
Hey, something's moving in
This
here.
is another way that you can flip through and cycle through the
Oh,
apps that
okay.
are open.
So I don't have
Just
to
drag in from the left-hand, swipe in from the left-hand side.
Okay, so I don't have to use the mouse to do it. I can also just kind of.
Yep, swipe in from the left-hand side, and then hold it there for a little bit, and then you might get a.
Okay, so now to snap, you're saying hold it.
Yep, hold it until the screen changes.
Okay, so it just turned to a snap.
And release.
Ah, that's easy.
Yeah, it's pretty easy on a touch.
That's kind of fun, actually. The touch is a lot of fun.
It is. Let's go back to the start menu. So press your Win key. There you go. So this new menu interface is very powerful, right? So one of the neat new features of this is that you can, like, remember before in your start menu, most people really didn't mess with it. You installed something and appeared in the start menu, and then you would open things up by clicking start and then go in there. Well, here it's right out in front of you, and there's these nice colorful tiles. Well, you can arrange these things however you want.
Okay.
So you can actually create a group of tiles. Let's say you use eBay a lot. So you can take that, drag it over here. This other line will appear. You drag it off to the right, and then you have a new group of tiles. Let's put video over there so we actually have a group. Let's put games over there. Just like that. Now when you're dragging these things, go ahead and touch one. Go ahead and drag one over.
Anything?
You have to pull up or down.
Oh, it makes a little X or something.
Yeah, what I see a lot of people doing is they'll touch and then they'll start dragging to the left or the right, and that's going to scroll. So go ahead and touch and drag to the left or the right. See how
gotcha.
it starts to scroll. So you have to initially move up or move down.
So if I move up, okay.
So let me show you another. So
okay.
In order to you can actually name your groups. So go ahead and take two fingers and touch them to the screen, and then move your fingers close together.
I'm used to that from the phone. So you're like zooming them in and out like a
yeah, like on a phone. Yeah.
Hey, cool.
Okay, so now what you can do here is you can select groups just like you would select those tiles. So if you click on one,
so the group we just selected here,
or tap on one, yeah, and drag down a little bit.
And there's that little check. What does that mean?
That means it's selected.
That means it's selected. Okay.
Yeah. And now, there you go. You've got the little check mark, and now you have some options. And what does it say down there?
Name group.
Yeah, that's how you name it. Call it whatever you want. Fun stuff or whatever.
Fun. Okay. And then we'll.
Okay.
Now it's named fun.
Now you've created a group. You can also add tiles. There's all kinds of things you can do with this start menu.
And you just span it back out.
Yep. Now you're back to your start. So now that you've created groups, and you're an official groupie, you know how to work with all these tiles and in groups. What was one of the things that you said that you like to do earlier?
Well, I like to go on the Facebook and my
social media
accounts and all that.
Yep. Yeah. Well, you notice there's several tiles here. There's mail, there's people, there's messaging. Those are all social things that you do, right?
Yep.
So anyway, those are tiles that work well together, to kind of bring all your social stuff together, whether it's your Facebooking or your Twittering, tweeting, whatever it is.
Right. So you mentioned earlier when we set up the live account that it pulls things in. So how do so I'd have to set up these accounts too? Is that?
Yeah, well, go ahead. Go and click on people. That's kind of where it all happens.
Okay, so we go in the people app.
Okay.
Hey, there's your face again.
Yep, there I am. This is my wonderful social life. At this point, there's none.
This looks like your social life.
Because we're just setting this thing up. This is a new PC. We're just setting up. This takes time. So where do you think what would you want to do to go set this up?
So I'm trying to add things to this, right?
Right, yeah,
Well,
your account.
We want to look in the menu areas, right?
Yes.
Start by this one.
That's right. That's the charms menu.
And this, I'm going to look probably for settings. I'm not really searching.
Yep, settings for that application.
Right there. So I've got accounts. I would say that's it.
There it is. That's where you add an account.
So I would come in here and click add an account. Hey, there's Facebook, Twitter, Okay.
And there they are. That's where you go to add your different accounts. Once you add these, then those feeds, right, from Facebook, people
Every
putting
time
things
they
on
update their
Facebook,
status or something.
if somebody instant messages you, that's going to get updated in that app. So let's switch back to the main menu. So, okay, but right now it just looks like there's People app, right? It's orange with a
It's
little,
not showing anything.
yeah, with a little picture there.
So you're saying this will show messages in it?
And that's called a live tile.
Okay.
Right? So when something you see over here, I think it's
This thing
that
keeps moving.
mahjong keeps moving, right? That's because it's live. So to make a tile live, you select it. So go ahead and take that People. Well, let's use finance. That'll be a good example.
So to
And
select
drag it down
that's
a
right,
little
dragging
bit,
that little checkbox
just
comes.
like you did in groups.
Yep, okay.
Now it's selected. You see you have options down there.
Yep.
One of those options is,
Turn live tile on.
so just tap it. Okay. And now what's going to happen is those stock quotes are going to, sometimes it takes a little bit to get going, but that's going to be live. And you'll see the stock quotes just like this.
So it'll start rotating like that once it connects.
See, there's our finance.
Oh, hey, it's starting to pull things in now.
You have a picture there and it'll tell you stuff.
Hey,
there's the S&P price. Okay. So also, if you have notifications pending, in the lower right-hand corner of that live tile will be like a little number or a check mark or something like that that tells you you have something waiting for you to go do. Much like some of the apps on cell phones do.
So like one of these others would have something like a little number, like you have an update or
like
something.
you have 5 messages waiting for you or whatever.
Okay.
So that's pretty neat, isn't it?
That is cool. I like that. Quickly check what all your social sites are.
So what about your older stuff? Let's say you have some Windows 7 programs that you bought and purchased. Well, you can go ahead and install these in here.
So I take my favorite games or whatever. And
but how would you open those?
I don't know. So I would assume I just stick in the disk and install it.
Yeah, and you'd be okay.
Does it show up here on the screen? Do I get a tile here, or do I have to go somewhere else to see these things?
Okay. Well, the easiest way. This is the great thing about Windows 8. Just start typing.
Like,
what should I type? Let's do solitaire.
Solitaire.
Everybody knows solitaire.
It's already pulled up.
Look at that. And just tap it. How cool is that?
That's pretty easy. So on that screen, like the start menu before when you could search down here, now the whole thing is a search. No matter what, you just start typing and it searches.
And so no more like having to click start, going through the menu, accessories, whatever, and going through all that chain. You can just start typing and boom, there it is.
That's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
So if we don't want this one,
open.
There goes solitaire.
Also,
so what about this? I keep seeing this desktop thing down here. What is that? The regular Windows desktop?
So that's what your older applications or other applications run in, right? So the Windows desktop applications.
So the non-apps, the Win 8 apps, not those, but the regular applications.
See these icons over here that are blue that have kind of the traditional desktop icon look to them? Those are actually the desktop apps.
So if I go to one, is it going to take me to the desktop?
See how it switched to the desktop environment?
Yep. So now so this looks like the old Windows 7 desktop.
Yep.
Except for I notice it's missing something too.
It's going to be that good old.
It does not have the start button on it.
Yep. Because there is no start button. You have a
start menu. So we would hit this to go back to it. And we're back.
Hey, you're getting to be proficient.
I'm starting to understand this a little bit. It's kind of actually making sense
now.
You're
like a Windows 8 groupie.
Well, once you realize it's kind of like your phone and you can interact with a lot of it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What if I wanted more apps? I know like on my phone, you can get apps really easy. We had talked about using the desktop and installing by a disk, but how do I get more of these Windows apps? These are pretty cool.
Right. Where do you get those? There's an app called a store.
Okay, so this store right here.
Yep. Let's go there. And inside, all these wonderful things that you can buy.
So a whole bunch.
Free.
So I just move some of these over here.
So it's just like all the other apps, right? There's various options. You can search.
There's different free ones.
From you using your Charming Charms menu. There's a
entertainment.
You can search for them.
Photos. That's pretty cool.
Okay.
So there's a lot of apps in here. I bet I could search for them too, huh?
Yep.
Can I just type
like
in here? Same thing?
Yeah.
So I could games, something like that. Yeah, it just starts popping up and telling me which games or apps are there for games.
Recommended games apps. Yeah, so.
Cool. All right, so you go back.
There you go. That's right, the Win key.
I like the Win key.
You're getting used to the Win key. Okay, so there's one thing that I know that you're going to probably struggle with, because I know I did, and that's how do you shut down your PC?
Well, in previous versions of Windows, you go to the Start button and select shut down or power or whichever
right.
one.
And there's no start button.
Right.
So where's the place that you go for those settings that's always available?
Well, not in here, because I remember looking from the top before.
That's in
so
an
it's
app.
got to be back over in here. It's going to be one of these.
Yep, so I'll just tell you, right? It's not
Okay.
as intuitive as what it used to be, but to do a start shutdown, it's through settings. The easiest way, though, hold on. The
all right.
easiest way is just to press the start button on your computer.
And that just turns it on and off. You don't have to worry about it like doing something to your computer if you shut it off that way?
Normal day-to-day operation, HP's computers are mapped to this power button, so it just shuts it down how it's supposed to be shut down, safely.
Okay.
So you don't have to worry about getting that error message that says, Windows has found an error when you reboot. That's gone. But through here...
So from the settings, you said?
Yep.
Okay,
settings,
there it is. There's power button.
There's the power button, and it's the same, power shutdown. If you're going to like replace hardware or something like that and you want to do a full shutdown...
So that the whole thing's off and no power's going through it.
Correct, because Microsoft now has this new... The way it works now is they have this new file system that works really good in what's called a hybrid sleep mode. And it's kind of, if you think of it kind of like hibernation, it's so that it can start quicker. And,
so it doesn't fully take the power off, but it is off.
It's and you'll like that about Windows 8, is you'll notice it'll shut down and start up a lot quicker.
Okay.
But if you want to shut it all the way down, hold your Shift key down when you select shutdown.
So I push over here.
And there's your shutdown.
And then I'm holding down Shift here and then selecting shutdown.
That's right.
And that'll shut it all the way down in case I wanted to upgrade memory or add a hard drive or something like that.
Well, what do you think? What do you think of Windows 8?
I like it. I mean, now that I've seen how to use it, I was, a little intimidated before with it. You look, you see no start button. What are you supposed to do here? There's just like boxes on the screen. So now that I understand it, you just touch things and new menus pop out and stuff like that. It's actually pretty cool. And I really like being able to throw things away with my finger. That's a lot of fun.
So when you're using a touch screen, remember the edges. Swipe in from the edges. That's where everything gets done on the screen if you're touching. And then on your mouse, remember the four corners of the screen and how the menus work, and the charms are very important. And then on a keyboard, if you're a keyboard kind of person, remember that Win key. That Win key is your new best friend. And then you can just start typing whenever that start menu is open to bring it up.
Yeah, I like
whatever
that.
it is that you're looking for.
That's cool. Just being able to type and say, hey, I'm in Paris, France. And then, I switch back, just push the Windows key. So it moves around really fast. I really like that.
Yep.
So I know that I've learned a lot by sitting here going through this. I'm now, I'm liking Windows 8, and I kind of want to put it on all my computers. So, I hope that you too have learned and are able to enjoy your Windows 8 computer. So, thanks.
Yeah, thanks.